So hi everyone, welcome to this week's interaction with the internal CEOs. Today we have Mmuso Mafisa. He's from Veza Intercative.
Yes,
Briefly summarized, you can say they deal with augmented reality, virtual reality, and tailored experiences. So I'll just take it over to you, Mr. Mmuso.
Sure.
I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, I'm fantastic.
And welcome to our Power Partner Foundation studio, man.
Sure, great to be here.
So just explain to our viewers quickly, right?
Yeah.
What am I talking about when I say augmented reality, virtual reality, and tailored experiences?
Okay, short. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me here. Such an amazing platform. Shout out to everyone watching, everybody at home. And yeah, I'm Mmuso Mafisa, as mentioned, CEO, co-founder of Veza Interactive. And as a unit, we develop immersive experiences, right? So there's a very staunch category or categorizing we need to do. Augmented reality, AR, virtual reality, VR, and mixed realities, MR, right? So with augmented reality, it's like when you have your phone and you can project 3D images, right, onto a surface, or maybe scan a target and then data points, animations happen. So that's what's like a mobile device. Right. Virtual reality is those headsets, right? Something called the Oculus Quest. Yes. So when you put the headset on, you completely transport it into like a artificial environment. So I could put them in here, right, in the office. Yes. But when I put them on, what I see, I could be in Mars or deep underwater exploring, like live or whatever. Then the additional model, which isn't the most popular, but it's really a strong sort of segment in this whole thing. It's called mixed reality, or MR, right? Okay. So a combination of augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality makes something called XR, extended reality. Okay. And as Veza Interactive, we basically design and basically like execute, extended reality solutions primarily in the educational space, or edtech solutions, and marketing and advertising experiences as well, right? For heightened engagement and like a really, fun and exciting way to learn and advertise.
Okay. So you touched a bit. It's actually quite interesting what you just said.
Yeah.
And you touched a bit on primary schools and education. So just tell us, what problems are you trying to solve?
Sure. I mean, with us, right, our core focus is to really reimagine education, right? Because we've identified that conventional means of educating, don't correlate with where the world is going. Right? The world is going digital, the world is going virtual, the world is going metaverse, but we're still struggling with things like accessing textbooks, right? We're still struggling with like proper infrastructure for like science labs and things like that. So we're like, no man, a lot of our people in underserved communities, primarily Korikasi, Komachai, really get left behind and don't know about the transformational opportunities this technology has, right? Beyond us, and, my small team, shout out Taba Sekhota, shout out Sipondaba, shout out Sipo Nkosi.
Yes.
Season Nkosi Sipondaba.
Yes.
Those are the team, the gang. And
shout out.
Amongst ourselves, right, we have identified where the opportunities lie, but also the harsh realities of living in the hood, right? The problem is that it's a behavioral change experiment or exercise we're doing, because we want to remove the stigma of people thinking tech is for white people, tech is for Asian people, and what we want to do precisely, we want to make sure also, guys, you can actually fix a problem, or enhance the quality of your business or something like that using immersive technologies such as augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality.
All right.
So yeah, we're trying to make education fun and exciting again for people, both for the teacher and the student, because a lot of the times the teachers or the adults are more intimidated by the tech, right? Whereas the youngins are quite savvy. But if the elders or the teachers can't disseminate or intimidated by it, they won't be able to teach in the right capacity. So that's that's the problem we're trying to solve in the education space, more primarily.
All right. And then obviously then that speaks to how your solution like assists society, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, even with that, like, we're working on an amazing product right now.
Okay.
It's called the Trube, which is a mix of two words, triangle and cube.
Okay. True.
Technically, the shape is a prism, but the functionality around it is like, we've designed a 3D printed multi-purpose textbook. So now, no, as opposed to just a kid, looking at a piece of paper, that's conventional means of learning. What we've done is that we've designed this product, this actual, physical object that comes with a mobile app. So in the app, we basically condensed all the subjects and textbooks that you'd usually have in a piece of paper or in your bag, but now you can just scan that object with the app and then the information pops up in a really gamified and exciting way, right? And the reason actually why we did that is that we've got a huge ethos in how we develop and how we design stuff. Is that we want to accommodate for like 7 multiple levels of intelligences, right? Because some kids learn in numerous different ways. And how I don't know if you're going to put this in editing, whatever, but how we've labeled it is my skill. Label abbreviated as MISKILL, right? Sounds like my skill, but the M is the musically inclined kids, right? The first I is the intrapersonal or the self-reflective kids. The S is for the spatially gifted, right? The sculptors and the drawers. The K is for the kinesthetic inclined, so the ones who learn with movement, or like the dancers or the athletes, right? The second I is the interpersonal, the socialites, the ones who like really can merge with people. The first L, the language, the poets, the rappers, whatever. And then the last L is the logic, or the number crunchers, or the accountants, or the science, sort of geeks and nerds. So now what we've done is we've designed a way to learn, a way to disseminate and deliver educational content to accommodate for all of those people. So if you're musical, we've got an AR experience that has sound or music, right? Where you can stand up and move around in a classroom with a tablet so that you don't just sit, or you know what I mean? So now you accommodate for numerous ways that people learn, because now you don't just want to box someone, right? You can't necessarily, evaluate a fish's capacity to climb a tree, right? You can't do that. You need to put it in its proper environment for it to flourish. So that's kind of how we want to do it, right? Make education accessible. We want education to be like a tool. So our Trube is like a Swiss Army knife of education. You can learn from it. You can access YouTube videos and additional content. At some point, you actually will be able to play a game. We're tapping into esports. Check it out. Got our own indie game coming out called Shapampama. Like a local Mortal Kombat, aka Street Fighter, Tekken, mixed all together. But more on those details very, very soon.
Oh man, this sounds exciting.
Sure.
This sounds exciting. So as co-founder of Veza, what inspired you to start Veza? And I mean, you've given part of this answer, but why also did you choose technology? There's a lot of ways to solve things.
I mean, that's a fantastic question, right? So just for more context, right? I wasn't necessarily in tech to begin with, right? I'm actually professional DOP, which is a director of photography. So before before COVID, technically, I was directing shows at MTV, doing shooting from You Got Gots to La Caesar's show. So it was entertainment and media, and we also doubled up as a photographer for a lot of A-list, celebrities, MTs, Java Maporisa, shooting them, gathering content for like documentaries and things like that. So that's where I was pre-COVID, and what happened is when level 5 kicked in, and
the hard lockdown,
every single stream of income came to a screeching halt. Right, I'm a new father at the time. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is going to be happening? But I think it was through serendipity that Veza came alive, because you had at least I had nowhere else to go. I had time in my hands, so I invested that time in learning about things I was kind of like interested in, like blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies. That led to an even deeper understanding of the metaverse, hence then my introduction into augmented reality, virtual reality. And the great part about this is that my current co-founders or partners, right, in the last 10 years, respectively in our own industries, we've been pushing, like I said, film, media. Tabo, he is in more game design and IT. Sipo is already deep in web design, app design. Cesar was on like music creation and graphic design. I'm like, our gents, we had a really good rapport, because let's say I'd have a shoot or production to do, and I'd call them up like, yo, gents, I need help. Come shoot drone footage. Come do this. So we had already established a good working relationship, right? By the time COVID came, and we were creatively, proficient individual, be like, "Hey man, let's consolidate these skill sets, bring something of value, really change the narrative to Jonathan Kasi." That's kind of like where this whole thing started, right?
Yeah.
Identifying or bringing opportunities to creatives in the townships to monetize these skill sets, right?
Yes.
Part of how Veza even started, ironically, was I'm a former NFT curator, non-fungible token curator, and there was a marketplace called Atano on the Cardano network, right?
Okay.
So I was what they call a council member with about 20 others, and we would basically curate artists from all around the world. They'd, hand in or submit, artworks, and we kind of like, hey, this is good for the platform, and I met a really, really great gentleman by the name of Maurice Crispy on a flight. Imagine. Flying to Cape Town on a launch, hey bro, flying to Cape Town to do like a launch for a film series we shot, the Ultimate Book Show, Sarah Sihle. And next to me across the aisle, this guy typing feverishly, like on the screen, he's dropping. I see blockchain, smart contracts, metaverse, blah blah blah, and literally hit it off with this guy. Find out he's the managing partner at Schindler's Attorneys, and they have a virtual blockchain firm called Virtual Nation Builder. So VNB met Veza, and the rest was history, because from there it was really a Cambrian explosion of technology and interest and blockchain and blah 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 that opened these opportunities for Veza to leverage how we've been rapidly prototyping things, rapidly producing solutions, firstly in the edtech space, and then it's spilled into other industries like mining, like advertising and marketing. And that's kind of like where Veza started. We saw, no man, this tech can help improve the economic condition of artists, and we ended up making edtech solutions, and we are where we are now. So yeah, crazy stories.
Crazy story, man.
Yeah.
Very interesting, and yeah, it's inspirational.
Thank you, bro.
It's inspirational, man. Young people, especially young black people, we're not in the space of tech. That
representation is disproportionate.
So it's good to see someone like you out there,
Thank you, bro. You're in the same space, so yeah. Shout out. Even
shout out.
Watchers and viewers at home, shout out to you guys as well.
Just like that. So where do you see Veza Interactive in the next 5 years?
Shots, man. So our goal, what at least success to us looks like, we'd like to establish something called Veza Labs, right? Basically be the number one establisher, or basically producers of mixed reality developers, web developers in local communities, right? Where we're gonna have this structure, and we're gonna basically build our own army of developers, because in the next 5 years, I feel like we're gonna be creating such a huge demand, and amongst the four of us, there's a lack of capacity. So why not build and train people to actually, once they've gotten their certificates, we plug them back into our own ecosystem, provide jobs, provide more opportunities, and that way we scale, really bring in technology and these creative opportunities. It's basically creative technology, right? Solving these problems. We bring it to them, and make Africa a formidable force in this. Because again, unfortunately, we suffer from 3 pandemics, bro. It is gender-based violence, number 1.
Oh yes.
Number 2 was COVID-19. The third one that's still suffering from is leadership deficiency.
Okay.
We have people in power but not leaders, right? So they'll say, what, but it's just buzzword. Whereas we're actually building practical applications and solutions that are accessible to our people who, in the roads, and not even just in corporates, multinational corporates, like Shell also have actually used our services to, bring awareness to their products in the mining space. But again, that's more talking to the use case of the technology, because we're providing solutions that are multi-sectorial. So it started off in education, spilled into advertising, but again, we can tap into so much more. But again, to answer your question, where we want to go is build the number one hub for XR developers to really bring and harness, that talent, so they can actually participate in this new digital economy with NFTs and blockchain and crypto, blah blah blah. That's really where we want to be. We want to tokenize learning, make it fun and exciting again.
That's exciting stuff. What's your parting shot? I mean, as I'm a young person myself, it's very difficult to find inspiration. It's very difficult to find inspiration. And with the things you see on TV, the bad things you see on TV, unemployment getting higher, right? The GBV.
Yeah, there's plenty of it.
Right.
There's
So so we're not yet inspired to do much, to change stuff, to take initiative. So what can you say to young people?
That's a great question, man. For me, primarily that we currently living in the greatest wealth transfer in human history, right?
Okay.
And this wealth transfer is beyond money, beyond Bitcoin, beyond any monetary value, but it's the exchange and transfer of information, right? And I feel like that's where we need to, leverage, man, right? Take this information, really empower ourselves and create solutions, immediate solutions for our people. That's where I think people are lacking, and the reason why our youth or our demographic isn't really tapping into that is, again, being afraid of hardship, pain, right? Yeah. We all want instant gratification, whereas we're trying to harness a culture of delayed gratification, because long-term goals then also harness and mold behavior. If you know that in 5 years, okay, fine, we're building this number one thing, we're not going to be derailed by circumstantial, temporary issues. We know where we're going, so we're not going to allow these issues, load shedding. You know what I mean? We are taking what we have, what we meet, what we our brains, our willpower to effect change, and we've got an agency of change as the youth. That vigor, right? That energy, that's not going to last forever. True. So we want to maximize in the time frame that we have, because we need to capacitate the next generation, the next wave of creatives, the next wave of thought leaders, the next wave of just women in power, women in technology, because that representation is also something in the next 5 years we want to do, really empower women in tech as well, because I think